This is every single Fnaf World character, and today we're gonna rank them, just based on how well designed they are and how cool they are. Based off power, I think that there's a very clear distinction between some of them, and that's a little bit boring, because there's obviously some that are better than others. So I think the best way to rank them is just based on how well designed they are. Yeah, I think this list might upset some people. Crying Child is pretty cool. I think it takes a 2D design and makes it look pretty good in 3D. We're going to talk more about that whenever we cover Purple Guy, because Purple Guy, it handles it differently. But taking a 2D design and just making it 3D just by giving it another dimension is pretty simple, but it is really good for Crying Child. It's good. It's a blocky, reminds me a little bit about Minecraft, because Minecraft invented squares, as we all know. Because of that, it has a really unique look. It's not exactly comparable to any other animatronic, except maybe Scott as a playable character. That's the only comparison you can really make. So because of that, I'm willing to give it a very fair B. Alright, next up we got Toy Chica. You already know where this is going. No explanation needed. Okay, next up we got Mangle, which is a really interesting design. So I actually really like how in all the Foxy characters, they have the eye patch on like the left eye, except for Nightmare Foxy, but we'll cover that in a bit. And so on Mangle, right, it's missing the left eye, which is pretty cool. It's sort of like how the eye patch covers Foxy's left eye, and instead it goes onto the robotic twin's eye, and I think that's a pretty neat design. Also, as far as like damaged or aged animatronics go, it handles it really well. It's a very unique design choice, not to make it like broken or anything, just like replacing the bits or like moving them around with another animatronic. It's pretty neat, and I think this game pulls it off really well. I'm not going to be comparing them too much to the original designs, unless it gets like to the point where I have to talk about it later. So I'm just covering how Fnaf World handles them, because I know that they're basically just simplified versions of the original designs. And Mangle turned out really well, very vibrant colors, but it's not overkill, because too much vibrant colors can be a little bit much, and with the robotic parts, it balances out pretty well. I like the bow tie, very sophisticated. Mangle is at a very fair B. Alright, next up we got JJ. Not a big fan. Not a big fan at all. It's just a worse Balloon Boy. I don't know what you want me to say. Balloon Boy has personality. Say what you will. It might be a bad personality, but at least Balloon Boy's got personality. Balloon Boy's got a balloon. Alright, what does JJ have that Balloon Boy doesn't? It's purple instead of red. It's annoying, I think. It's a lazy redesign of a well-established character, and even though that's the point of it, I just don't see why it needed to be there. Okay, at least take some time to make it better or flesh it out. I know that's the purpose of it. It's supposed to be just a redesign, and it fits within the lore, so that's excusable. I just think it's just a lazy Balloon Boy. And Balloon Boy is superior to JJ. So, because of that, I'm gonna put JJ at an F. Alright, Phantom Freddy. Here's where it gets interesting with the Phantoms. So, I think that the color doesn't exactly help with the watermelon looks of a lot of them. It can look good though, but Phantom Freddy, it could have looked better. It's just kind of you know? I don't know. There's not much life and passion designed into it, or love poured into it, really. It's just kind of there. It's missing an ear. It's a little bit cool, I guess. I like the eyes. The eyes are really redeeming for the Phantoms, and for Freddy, it looks pretty good. So because of that, it's not the worst design in the world, but I'm not willing to put it in F tier. So I'm giving Phantom Freddy a very respectable D tier, but not really that respectable, because at the end of the day, not a great design. Don't even get me started on Phantom Chica. Okay, Phantom Chica, it literally prefaces the character by saying, "Stop calling me a watermelon." It already knows why it sucks. You don't need to be like addressing it or anything, okay? Just move on, just accept it, okay? It's an F, it's an F, okay? Okay, here's where the Phantom design actually looks good. Phantom Foxy looks pretty good. Okay, it's not bad. It's really not bad. Probably the only Phantom that actually looks good, in my opinion. Also, the missing arm is cool. I don't know, it just works. The design works. It has thought put into it. Again, the glowing eyes, I think it makes it look great. It's good. It's good. I like it. It's not the best thing in the world. It set a goal and accomplished it. For that, I'm putting it in B tier. Alright, Phantom Mangle. Oh, this is rough. It's just a worse Mangle. Phantom Mangle is just a worse Mangle. It looks a little creepy, but because Mangle handles it better, I think that just comparing the two is a little much. I honestly don't have a strong opinion over Phantom Mangle. It's just kind of there. It's mid. Because of that, we're going to put it into C tier. Very, very low C tier though. Bordering on D tier. But C tier is where it belongs. Withered Freddy. I like Withered Freddy. He's cool. Look at him. He's like in a state of just like being happy. His head gets bigger whenever he attacks. Kind of cool. Not like too different from Freddy. Like if I were to put the two next to each other, I'd say it's just a little bit darker. It's not as vibrant. And I think that it works. I think that it's pretty good. He's got crazy eyes. I think that's probably the best difference between the two of them. So again, I think this is another one of those mid but bordering on B tier. I'm willing to give it a B tier, honestly. But in all fairness, it's a mid design. It's not like good, it's not bad, and that's not a bad thing. I think Withered Freddy being there elevates how good the other designs are, and it doesn't put down the franchise by any means. I don't know, let me know what you guys think about Withered Freddy. I'd say he's a very respectable C. Very, very good position to hold. I'd still rank him better than Phantom Mangle though. Phantom Mangle is worse than Withered Freddy. Withered Freddy is like great. Okay, peak C tier. All right, we're getting into the interesting ones. Shadow Freddy, really interesting. I love the purple on Freddy, and as much as I don't understand the lore behind Shadow Freddy as a character, you just know there's something up with the guy. He's just slanted like that, again with the glowing eyes. His head like spins around whenever he attacks. I think this is pretty cool. This is a pretty unique redesign of an established character. It's more than just giving him a different color palette. It actually presents a different personality with the character. And I think the best redesigns always add a little bit something to the personality, and they accomplish that here. So because of that, I'm giving him a B tier. We're not getting up there yet. We're gonna get up there here in a bit, because let me tell you, there's some good ones coming up. Marionette, or the Puppet. The Puppet is pretty cool. This is one of the rare times where I'm gonna compare them to the older, or the original Fnaf designs, at least from the first debut game that they came out in, because the Puppet looks really cool in those games. In FNAF World, I don't know, it just seems watered down. Like, I know a lot of these characters are supposed to be, like, simplified to be, like, in a child-friendly game. Because of what FNAF World's going for, that's what they're trying to accomplish. But the Puppet, it could have retained some more characteristics. One thing about the Puppet was that it seemed tall. You know, it seemed like a Slenderman, Enderman type of look. And here, it just seems small. I don't know, I still love the design itself, it's just that how it's presented is a little bit weird. I do love how he spins around though in the move. Yeah, if it was lankier and like really express that very puppet feel. I love the mask though. The mask easily gives it a very, very distinct look that separates it from the other animatronics. So I'm willing to say that it has high highs and low lows, and because of that, I'm gonna put it at a C tier. Very middle of the road. But oh my god, they ruined it with Phantom Marionette. Phantom Puppet, it's just a worse puppet. Same deal with Phantom Mangle. I'm really inclined to put Phantom Mangle at a D tier actually, because the more I think about it, it does not belong with Withered Freddy and the Puppet. So we're gonna move Phantom Mangle down at D tier, and then the Phantom Puppet will join it. Yeah, this is what mid looks like, and mid is not a bad thing. When I think of FNAF, I think of a lot of characters, the Puppet being one of the ones, maybe not the first one that comes to mind, but definitely there, and because of that, C tier is where it belongs. I'm not gonna stain the name with these guys though. Ain't no way. And speaking of FNAF as a franchise, next up we got Golden Freddy. Now this is a good design. Golden Freddy is so cool. Whenever I talked earlier about giving a redesign to a character like Freddy Fazbear and giving him more personality, this is what I mean. I know canonically, Golden Freddy came out before Freddy, or at least that's one of the timelines I saw. There's so many, I'm not even gonna get into lore right now. So really, Freddy is a redesign of Golden Freddy. But, oh my god, it's so cool. Instead of being an animatronic that is just walking around and stuff, it just sits there. It's cursed. And then the little flickering of the lights in the eyes exemplify that. It shows that it's not just, it's alive. It's just like paralyzed almost. Such a cool design. I love how it's presented. Very creepy. while still maintaining that child-friendly image. Such a cool design. And because of that, I'm giving it the first S tier. Let's go. Okay, Paper Pals, this might be a hot take, but I really like Paper Pals. Paper Pals just like look different from the rest of them. I know they don't exactly like represent FNAF World or anything, but I really like them. They're just paper plates that are decorated. I think that's really cool for a game about like a pizzeria, you know, and then just stuff in the background, and this belongs in the background. I think that's pretty neat. I love their inclusion. Maybe it's just because of my run of my other videos. I use Paper Pals a lot. Maybe that's why I like him so much. But I like it a lot. I'm not willing to give it an S tier, but I'm willing to give it a strong A tier. Very personal choice, but you gotta understand, they just look cool. And it's very different from the other ones. Different can be bad, and we'll cover that in a bit. But Paper Pals do different good. And speaking of good, we got Nightmare Freddy. Now this is a good design. Oh my god, it's so cool. I know we're not talking about moves right now, but I love the move where it just summons the little Freddys to just walk across the screen. Such a satisfying move. It's so cool. And it's like, it makes sense because there's little Freddys coming out of Nightmare Freddy. This is such a cool design. I'm gonna give it an S tier. Yeah, it belongs up there. I just love all the Nightmare designs. And speaking of which, we got Nightmare Bonnie. I love Nightmare Bonnie. So cool. I love the claws. It doesn't have as much character to it as Nightmare Freddy does. I think it's like a blander Nightmare Freddy. So because of that, I'm gonna give it an A tier. But that's not a bad thing by any means. Such a cool design. I love the... in Nightmare Freddy, it's a little hard to miss the second set of teeth, but you can see it more clearly with Nightmare Bonnie. So cool. In Nightmare Chica. Nightmare Chica is probably the best Chica in the line. And it keeps the cupcake too. That's the best part. It's so good. It's such a good design. I don't think even Freddy or Nightmare Bonnie keep their accessory. Freddy gains 2 new ones with like the little mini Freddys, but Nightmare Bonnie is just kind of like its own thing. So I love the inclusion of the cupcake even in this Nightmare design. I'm gonna put it at an S tier. So good. I love it. And I love the eyes. I love how they're different colors. I'm not sure why. They don't exactly like flicker or anything, but it's still really cool. I don't know what it is about the snout of Nightmare Foxy, but it looks cool. It looks very metallic. A lot of the hooks on Foxy don't look threatening at all. And I know it's supposed to be like for kids and stuff, and it's just a plaything, but Nightmare Foxy's hook, that's powerful right there. Right, that hook, devastating. I just like it a lot. There's a lot of little details. Again, I love the Nightmare line so much. It has the same thing with Chica about the eyes, but they're the same color. I like that. I wish I could have kept the eye patch or included that detail in some other way, but still a top tier design. I'm gonna put it up there with Nightmare Bonnie. I think that's where it belongs. Okay, Endo 1. I think these are cool. I'm not passionate about the Endo line at all. I love Endo 2, and we'll talk about that here in a bit. But Endo 1 is just kind of bland. I think it's very good to keep the design of like, since all of the animatronics are built with like similar robotic parts, I think it's a really cool idea to keep like the original like robotics underneath as a character. I think that's a cool inclusion. It looks a little bland is all. It does stand out, but not in like an exciting way. I think it's a very fair C. Not as strong as the other two. I like Endo 2 significantly better than Endo 1 though, because of the ears. It looks cooler is all. Alright, we got Plushtrap. Plushtrap is just a plushy version of Springtrap. Yeah, I mean, it's there. It's there. It looks a little vicious. I don't got nothing against it. It's a little, I actually kind of like the detail with how it's like a little crazed look. Like, I think it actually captures a serial killer look a lot better than Springtrap's design. Because this thing's gonna go like insane any second. It's gonna snap at any second. And because of that, I think it's a C. I think the only redeeming quality that's keeping it from being like a D or an F is that crazed look. So we're gonna put it at a C. Endo Plush gets no such treatment though. Endo Plush is just, it's going to an F. I'm not that sorry. Springtrap. I love Springtrap's design in FNAF 3. Someone made a video about how it's the best design across FNAF as a franchise, and I love it. I mean, it's such a good design. But in FNAF World, it just seems watered down. I don't know. Even the color and everything, it just... Maybe it's because it's in a bright environment that it lessens how good it could have looked. But it just seems watered down. I still respect it though. And I respect the original design. So I'm going to give it a very fair B tier. I think that it could have done so much better. And it could have done so much more. Alright, next up we got Shadow Bonnie or RWQFSFASXC. And I think this is how you do like a hidden Easter egg type of character. It is so cool. It stands out. The lore behind it's interesting. There's no other animatronic that looks like this one. I'm gonna give it an A tier. It just looks cool. Not much design wise going on there, but that silhouette look, if they overplayed it, it could have gotten annoying easily, but because it is the only character like that, like not even Shadow Freddy has similar design like that, I think it works. So we're gonna give it an A tier. I like it a lot. Alright, Funtime Foxy. This is what I mean when a character is too vibrant. It has too much going on and nothing balances out. It seems a little too overstimulating of a design with the colors. Maybe that's just me. I just like Mangle a lot better. It balances it out a lot more. It's just kind of weird to look at. I don't know. We're gonna put it at a D tier. It's not the worst thing in the world. I just not a big fan of it. Alright, Fredbear. I like Fredbear. I think it's just because the personality shines through the poses. That's probably why it stands out so much. I mean, Fredbear is the one who talks to you throughout the game, so it's pretty easy to develop a connection with him as how he's described because he actually has lines in the game. But you know how he talks based on how he taps his foot, based on how he moves. I think that's pretty cool. I like Fredbear a lot. We're gonna put him at a B tier. Spring Bonnie, not so much. It's nothing great. I mean, it just kind of blends in the background there. I think the eyes are cool. The eyes stand out. I like how they're green. Again, the C tier. I think that's just where it belongs. Alright, we got an iconic legend coming up here. Withered Bonnie. I cannot give him anything less than an S tier. Withered Bonnie is probably one of my favorite designs in all of FNAF. The mask torn off the arm and everything. Maybe a lot of my observations come from the original designs, but even here, Withered Bonnie looks menacing. It's so cool. I love how nothing is lost in translation. I think a lot of these characters are watered down from the originals, just in FNAF World, but Withered Bonnie definitely isn't. It captures what it's going for originally, and I love it. Withered Bonnie is amazing. S tier. Alright, we got the OG, Freddy Fazbear. I'm inclined to put him at a C tier, but he's just kind of a legend. You know, he's the guy in the poster. Very much like him a lot. I'm gonna put him at a B tier. The design just works. It's cool. I think maybe if he was a newer character, or that design was a newer character, I would put him at a C, but I think it works. B tier. I think any other day, it would be different if Withered Freddy was better than Freddy Fazbear. I think they're both really close. Either Withered Freddy is a better one than Freddy Fazbear, so they could probably change places a lot on the list. But Freddy Fazbear, I think for right now, pretty good design. Alright, we're gonna talk about the Halloween characters. Let's go. This is how you do a Halloween style character design. You don't have to be lazy. This has some thought put into it. Not only is it recolored, right? It's not following any shades of blue. It's like a cool brown. It fits that fall theme very well. And the eyes make it's a jack-o'-lantern. It's Jack-O' I mean, it's so cool. I like taking that idea of making their helmet or that mask look like a jack-o'-lantern. I think that works a lot. It's very similar to Nightmare Bonnie, but it is a better Nightmare Bonnie. And because of that, I'm gonna give it an A tier. I'm gonna put him above where these are in no particular order, but I want to point out that it's a better Nightmare Bonnie. Very close, but it's a better one. And the only reason I'm putting Jacko Bonnie on A tier is because Jacko Chica belongs in S tier. This is amazing. Because, again, same thing as before, turning the eyes into a jack-o'-lantern. And then even the cupcake is replaced with a little pumpkin. Such a unique design. I like that a lot. It works so well. Alright, we got Nightmare BB up next. This is a disturbing design. It's bordering, I think it's trying to be creepy, but really it's just more disgusting than creepy. I think it's a D tier. I think, like, neck up, it'd be probably closer to a B tier. but because of the hands, I just can't give it anything higher than a D tier. It's disgusting. It's disgusting to look at. I don't want to think about it any more than I have to. Nightmare puppet seemed like a good idea. I just think maybe it could have been posed differently. I don't know. I just don't feel like it has a use for all the other arms. I think it could have been used really well, but it just wasn't. Maybe it's just a posing thing. Yeah, I don't like it any more than the puppet. I like the puppet, but because this is just this is black and white, there's no color. It's just a watered down version of the puppet that tries to be cooler, but because it doesn't reach that, it ends up looking worse. So we're gonna put it at a D tier. All right, next up we got Anim Dude, or Scott Cawthon. I like the design a lot. I know it's just Scott Cawthon in the game. Out of all the characters or character models to use for yourself in the game, this is probably one of the best ways you could have done this. It's menacing, it stands out, it literally glows. I don't know if it exactly belongs in a Fnaf game, but it's pretty cool, and I can't deny that, so I'm gonna put it at A tier. Alright, we got Balloon Boy. I think compared to the other animatronics, he doesn't stand out too well, but he's there. I like him a lot. He's got an accessory that's pretty cool. I'm gonna give him a very fair C tier. I'm inclined to put him in B, but I don't. Let's not push it. Okay, we know what Balloon Boy is. He's just there. Alright, we got Bonnie up next. I like the dark blue with the red. I think it looks really good together. The guitar is just iconic with Bonnie, and the dark blue. Well, I like a combination of dark blue and red. It's probably one of my favorite color combinations. Very cool. Nothing like too extra. I think it's a B tier. I think that's where it belongs. It's pretty cool. Joining up there with Freddy. I will say no such thing about Chica though. It just kind of looks dumb. I mean, look at it. Yeah, this face belongs in a D tier. The eye color is cool. I like the cupcake. Nothing to celebrate. I think it blends in the background. On top of that, it's just a very forgettable character to begin with in the playthrough. Like you're not gonna keep Chica on your battle against like Scott or anything. I don't think the average person is gonna keep them. So let's just leave that at D tier. All right, we got Mr. Chipper up next. I don't know if he's an animatronic or not. He looks too much like a cartoon, but like a weird like early animation cartoon. It's a little bit unsettling. I don't care how powerful you are. It's a little unsettling. I'm gonna put you at a D tier. All right, it's unique. I'll give you that. Don't push it. All right, Coffee. I love Coffee, and this character design is pretty good too. I don't know if this is a reference or anything. I just really like this scene in the movie. But in the FNAF movie, William Afton, the counselor, gets up to get Coffee, and that over the head shot is one of my favorite shots in the movie. It's just really cinematic. I don't think it's anything special. Like I don't think there's any deeper meaning behind it. I just think it's cool. I don't know. I just like the color grading in there. It's a nice shot. It's a really, really nice shot. And it's just him figuring out like, oh wow, Michael Schmidt is here. I think it's a cool scene. But that's my favorite shot in the whole movie, and Coffee kind of reminds me of that. I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool design. I don't know why it got added. I think the liquidy part makes it look like unique. It stands out a lot. I don't think I can give it an S tier, but I'm gonna give it a really good A tier. I'm putting it up there. I know it's not an animatronic or anything, but it's cool. It's Coffee. It's just Coffee, man. Everybody likes Coffee. I think Foxy is one of those characters that I talked about earlier that whenever it got made into a FNAF world design, lost a lot of things in translation. It doesn't stand out. It's just there. Again, very forgettable. I'm gonna put him with Chica, and then I'm gonna forget about Foxy. Don't worry, Foxy's not gonna come back. But you know who does come back? That's right, Purple Guy. Okay, this is the other way to handle a 2D character in a 3D setting, and that's just by keeping them 2D and giving them a little shadow. I think this is cool. I think this works really well. I doubt that if Purple Guy was made to look like the crying child, it would work nearly as well for Purple Guy specifically. I think it's really cool. I like how they kept the 2D. A lot of personality. It's very simple, but achieves so much. You can tell who Purple Guy is from the silhouette. I'm putting that at S tier. That's where it belongs. Speaking of S tier, not that it reaches it, Nightmare Fredbear is really close to S tier. I love the mouth inside the chest. I think that's really cool. It's just a very intimidating, powerful image of Fredbear. It is so cool. I love it a lot. I love how it keeps the purple hat too. That is such a unique touch. But the only reason that Nightmare Fredbear belongs in A tier is because Nightmare belongs in S tier. It's basically recolored Nightmare Fredbear, but it's like a shiny Pokemon. okay? You know the black shinies in Pokemon? Like Rayquaza, or Primal Groudon, or Kyogre, or even Greninja. I think black shinies look so good, and they, with the shine and everything, even Nightmare keeps like this kind of glistening, glossy look to it, and with the yellow, oh, it's such a good color combination. It keeps the main design choices, but just a slight recolor adds so much. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of shiny Pokemon. And because of that, I'm gonna put it in S tier. I love them so much. But you know who I don't love? I do not love Phantom Balloon Boy. F tier. It captures all the problems I have with the Phantoms. Maybe I just don't like the designs. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But yeah, moving on. Toy Freddy's a little interesting. I think it's a really, I don't know. I think it's a C tier. Nothing special, very forgettable, but it's still like vibrant. It's still there. It's still pretty cool. I think Toy Bonnie handles it a lot better. Toy Bonnie, I think it's a better Bonnie, so I'm gonna put him right there. Again, this order doesn't matter too much. I just want to make sure that Toy Bonnie belongs at a B, but it's better than Bonnie. I just think the cyan and the red looks really good, and the shininess of it gives this new look to it, and it still seems pretty like close to the original games. Withered Chica is one of the best examples. I think a good majority of the Withered line is probably one of the better examples of damaged or aged animatronics that are damaged in a really cool way. Like Withered Bonnie has its like mask cut off, and Withered Chica has its hands removed basically. And so it's just a bunch of wires for fingers. That is such a unique idea. And then how its jaw is just locked open. That is so cool. It's so creepy. I think there's a lot of other designs that handle damaged or just aged animatronics in a very lazy way or a very predictable way. But Withered Chica had a chance to make it unique and fun, and I think it did that. So we're going to put Withered Chica at a B tier. Very respectable. Actually, I'm going to give it an A tier. Alright, next up we got Withered Foxy, the last one. Withered Foxy, well, he's an A tier. I like him. But what's more to say? Withered Foxy is cool. Anyways, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, I hope you're a bit less bored.